guys? What it do? Bobo and Anshul
What up?
and Andrew here
What it is.
for a special screening. Normally, Anshul handles this stuff and Anshul's hosting this, but this is kind of a horror thing. This is sort of more me and Andrew's baby, kind of.
Yeah. So, guys, I'm going to be the winner of the viewer because I have not watched a Scream since I think 2, maybe 3, when I was drunk and hungover one morning. Maybe 3 was on TV and I watched it. But when they invited me on the stream, I said, listen, guys, you can do it without me. I'm obviously not going to know a damn thing. Or it could be kind of cool, and me being the viewer that's probably fallen off the Scream movies, and you guys can try to convince me as to why I need to give this a view, depending on what you thought about the trailer. I don't even know. We didn't get to talk about beforehand if you guys liked it or not. So,
well, this is definitely going to be, I think right now the franchise is in sort of I don't want to say standstill, but there's a handful of people that hated the last one and a handful of people that liked it. But we will decide on this episode.
Bobby and I are not in a lot of agreement when it comes to certain ones. I don't like 4. I didn't buy the killers in it. Bobby loved it. I think we might be on the same page. I guess when about 5, it was kind of mediocre, but not horrible, but not what the franchise needed.
Okay, you know what? This is probably good because there's probably a lot of people that fell off after the first couple, right? So in the first one, obviously your killers were the 2 guys, Matthew Lillard and homeboy, pretty boy that never did anything afterwards. Let's talk about catch us up. Somebody catch us up on what happened after these Scream movies. You don't have to give us the whole breakdown, but give us like a quick, maybe 30-second breakdown of the Scream movies post.
Oh, I can do this easy. So you got 1 and 2, or you got part 1. Stu and Billy, they're the killers. It's a whole situation over Billy's mom abandoning him because he was having the mother was having an affair with Neve Campbell's mother. So there's that whole situation. Stu was just a crazy guy. The second one, it's Billy's mom that abandoned him. And there's this whole thing. She's the killer, and she hires some crazy dude that's kind of like Stu, but it's Timothy Oliphant for some reason.
But she supposedly had lost a lot of weight and had a huge makeover done, so nobody recognized her except for Neve Campbell. Her character was
she's the only one that says you like Billy's mom, Mrs. Loomis, but then part 3, there just happened to be this brother that was put up for adoption at a young age. That was Neve Campbell's Sydney's brother. He was the killer. Part 3 is the only one thus far that only has 1 killer. All of them have had 2 killers thus far.
And the story that you find out in the first one with her mom being a slutbag whore. Well, as it turns out, she was trying to be an actress before.
Before you say that, let's throw this in. Dun dun dun. Okay, now go ahead.
Yeah.
You find out that she was trying to make it. She was trying to make it in L.A. as as an actress, and was sleeping around, and she had a son, and she, I guess in his mind that she disowned him. So it was the whole I want to,
life,
and it was kind of, in a way, you could be so your misplaced anger at Sydney's mom is now you want to don the
guys. This sounds like a Jerry Springer show so far.
Well, it kind of is up to that point because it's all family oriented at that. 1, 2, and 3.
White trash families sleep around with everybody, getting mad because their significant others sleep around with people, and then they're sleeping around with other people. I don't,
No, I mean there is
white people shit, y'all.
It is. It's small town, Woodsboro, suburban shit.
Yeah.
But in part 4, it's just a couple of wannabes, a couple of copycats. Right. I say that one of them is Neve Campbell's cousin.
Oh my God!
I thought it was her niece.
It's her niece. I apologize. It's her niece, which is Emma Roberts.
But little tiny Emma Roberts is supposed to be some super strength, vicious killer. And she's got all this misplaced anger because she was always in her aunt's shadow because she's the aunt, she's the niece of Sidney Prescott. It's just okay, another motive that was a stretch.
Yo, is this Scream or Days of Our Lives?
No, Anshul's just coming in straight up, just talking shit.
Well, dude, you're come on, man. It's the niece that feels like she was in the shadow, and therefore she turns into Ghostface killer.
No, well, look, that's the thing. Ghostface is not necessarily. It's always just been a costume. There's no
Yeah.
like superpowered
Right.
thing. There's no
No, I
like.
got you.
It's just a person putting it on, and it started like literally them using a costume. There was no like history behind it, and now it's developed some sort of a lore behind it because of the franchise. But
Well, the thing with 4, man, is that really got into movie within a movie within a
look,
movie.
look. That's what I was. You cut me off. That's what I was saying. The whole thing with the franchise is it's been making fun of slashers and making fun of the genre. So the first one was making fun of scary movies and what's your favorite scary movie. The second one was making fun of sequel tropes. The third one was making fun of like how things come back around, like in Return of the Jedi. You find something out that's like from the beginning and all that, and it all ties together, which is why the fourth one, it's not a family thing. Really, I mean, it is, but it's like a side shoot family thing. Anyways, that's what I was going to say. And then in the fifth one, the fourth one and the fifth one, they start talking about horror movies, but in the fourth one, they start implementing like it's all online now and it's all about capturing the horror. And then
Wait.
Go
So
ahead.
the fifth one, was that the one where Sideshow Bob was the killer?
This motherfucker. Yeah, from Simpsons. I mean, look, they're slasher movies. I'm not expecting to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Same thing with Friday the 13th and Freddy and all that. I just want to have fun with them, but they do need to be good. And by the fifth one, it started to sort of like, it seemed like the same plot from the fifth one and the fourth one. Like the fourth one, what they were trying to do was like, we want to recreate the scary movies. We want to do our own movie and tell our own ending. And we got to take it back to the originals and about remakes and all that. And that was kind of what the fifth one was about as well. Just different people and no family.
You know what would be cool is if they went to Japan and died and created Grudge in the sixth movie, and the Grudge became the Ghostface killer in the seventh movie. That would be awesome. That would be lit.
I see what you just did there.
Yeah.
If the ghost face wasn't even a mask, it just appeared underneath the hood.
Yeah.
Because it was like a grudge-ish type thing.
Korea, you should do a Scream movie. We know you do it better.
There's a Bollywood Scream movie called Shh.
Yeah, probably.
No, there is. I swear to God. It's
what's funny is I used to kind of be embarrassed about that when I was a kid, but then I realized American cinema steals from everybody too, right? So,
dude, we all steal from everything. We just try to make it our own. And
The Departed is a Chinese movie.
Right? So, Andrew, fourth one or fifth one better?
I think we know the answer to this one.
I don't know, man. We like the fifth one.
I think I would put the fifth one over the fourth one. And it's really just the reveal of the killers. Anshul, my biggest problem with part 4 was 100-pound Emma Roberts and 110-pound Kieran Culkin were supposed to be these overpowering killers, and I don't buy it. They look like they're 10 years old still.
Yeah,
I'm
supposed to the ones wearing the mask in the movie, like,
yes.
Or did they have they didn't do
okay.
I don't know about that. 110 pounds. Just I
don't know.
Way taller than Emma Roberts.
I don't know.
But it would make sense if they had let's say a double who was a guy playing Ghostface, and then all of a sudden the mask comes off. It's supposed to be Emma Roberts, and you're like, yeah, but the Ghostface we saw on screen was clearly, a well-built guy, and
they have him wearing the costume as much as possible, except for actual stunts and things where they could get hurt. But
right, no, we're just supposed to, as an audience, believe that they were the ones behind the mask. And when I just had a problem with it, man. At least
5. It's the same thing. She's at
least Stu and Billy look like they could be, early 20s dudes, relatively tall and built, and could overpower and could, manhandle Nev Campbell and manhandle whoever it is they were up against. But I just had a hard time believing that little tiny Emma Roberts and little punk ass Kieran Culkin were supposed to be these bronze, these brains over bronze kind of killers behind the mask. I would believe that they would be the smart ones running the whole thing, but not actually doing the murders. But that's not really how it went down. Again, now the end of it, I guess, in the hospital where she goes after Nev Campbell in the hospital when she just got stabbed, but she was part of the whole. It was part of the whole plot. I don't know, but
Look up Kieran Culkin, and he's not near as small as you're making him out to be. He's not a 110-pound dude. You're just saying that. He's not. He's probably as tall as me. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I mean,
Like that's not unbelievable.
Bobby, you did bring up a good point because the whole
And
purpose of the movie.
well, real quick, and the girl is very small in part 5. She's just as small as Emma Roberts. So go ahead.
Well, these Scream movies serve two purposes, right? The first purpose is to lampoon or parody horror tropes or movie tropes, and the second one is to make sure Nev Campbell keeps getting a paycheck. But I did think it's funny because the Scream movies spawn the scary movies, right? And the scary movies. Sorry, whoa, what just happened?
Whoa, easy,
Sorry.
guy.
My camera looks bad, and I thought maybe it was dirty, but it's just the picture.
Yeah. It's probably just. Is it a laptop camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But it's never looked this bad, so I don't know what's going on.
Lighting. You know about being lit. You're an actor, Andrew. You gotta be well lit, dog.
Yeah, no, but he is right. It's way more grainy than normal.
Yeah. But okay, so then we got the scary movies, which lampooned the Scream movies, and the scary movies itself became kind of tropey. So how are they going to make this fresh? Because I'm going to tell you, this is my reaction watching the trailer. This is a facial expression I made. Are you serious?
I'm going to tell you right now exactly what I told Bobby.
Mhm.
The best thing for this franchise is if there's not any sort of like big reveal in this upcoming Scream. Make it where you want somebody to make it to where it's not revealed who it is or who these group, even if it's 2 or 3 people, don't reveal it. Let it go to another movie and another one if that's what they want to do, where they make it a whole new trilogy of 6, 7, and 8, and they all are connected. Stop with the whole. They're already breaking the mold by making this more nationwide. Where I mean, this is in the streets of New York now. This is not just some small town Woodsboro that it's a copycat killer trying to go after family when it's a stretch of a plot.
This is the first one that's taken place outside of the small town.
Yeah, so they've already broken the mold by trying to make this more nationwide because of the success of all the stab movies that were the movie within a movie. So how about the best thing for them to do is to not reveal a killer, just make it to where it's a cliffhanger, and then that makes people like, oh, they're gonna go on with this, and before it's finally revealed who it is. That's one thing that I would say would be the best thing they could do is to stop with the whole every movie you got to reveal who it is. Like maybe you can just make this a continuation, like picking up a new not plot, but like a new
story arc. Yeah,
a new story arc or a new.
No, that's what we had talked about today, and that's what they need to do, I think, to keep it fresh and to not just have this whole other thing like an M. Night movie. It's like, okay, we'll get ready for the twist. Here's the reveal. Like, it'd be awesome if we were like, oh shit, this mofo got away, and we never saw anybody, and now they're really all like in danger on a cliffhanger. Now, again, this is a part 6 to a slasher franchise, so going into this, I'm never ever. Halloween, the way that they redid that and started that over and like reset the clock, that's the only reason those movies sort of had the upper higher brow feel and quality to them, because they literally are like, hey, fuck the sequels that were all shit. We're going to start over and start this after the first one. And so it actually like told a really good story and you really got engaged into it without the just stabs all the time. But Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger and Scream and all that stuff, it really is just about the kills and the jumps and the ride that you want to go on. I'm not going into these movies expecting to see something that's like changing my life. It is like going to a haunted house.
Well, it seems like
it just needs to be scary.
It seems like Jacob Kane is going to be involved because at the subway scene it makes it look like they're doing the Court of Owls thing for Batman, where we're going to have the Court of Ghostface.
It does. No, yeah. It really does. And so with that being said, let's actually get to this trailer shot by shot. I literally have every single shot in here. So, I mean, look, I like to just kind of go through these, talk about anything that we see. Obviously, starting off with the city shot. Immediately.
Spreading the news. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you know what's funny is that's what it was at the beginning of the Friday the 13th trailer. Friday the 13th part 8, when they're showing like Jason standing in front of the water, but you can't see Jason, it's his back. the camera's and it's like da, 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 da. And it's exactly that. And then of course he turns around and it's the fucking mask. So, anyways, this city right here immediately jumping into Jenna Ortega.
Okay, this is where it starts to lose me. So my brother lived in Harlem for a little bit. I've been to New York. I've been to plenty of bodegas. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You walk into a bodega wearing a Ghostface Killer mask, you're getting shot straight up right away.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're not wrong about that.
First of all, you're probably getting shot going into the bodega, especially if it's in some place like East Harlem wearing that mask.
Now, are they in New York?
I mean, that's what it looks like in the trailer. I mean, you don't find bodegas like that in Frisco, Texas. Okay.
No, you're well, look, and also you don't ever really have anybody stepping from behind the counter anyways. And we'll show this in a second.
Yeah.
But
Well, that subway scene, I guess you could argue is Chicago, but I'm pretty sure it's New York.
it is. There's another shot where they show it. It looks like New York. But to just say this real quick, Anshul, Jenna Ortega, and for some reason I'm drawing a blank on the other girl's name that you'll see. They're sisters in this from the last one. So this one is continuing characters that started in the last movie that were never in movies prior.
Okay.
So it's like the new cast. And the last one, so the last movie was kind of like Star Trek Generations.
Yeah.
Where
so it's like Coke, New Coke. Gotcha.
Yeah, it was transferring. So the last one still had old cast members in it. And this one still has Courtney Cox, but Nev Campbell's not in this one.
Yeah, but she was they wanted her to be in it, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, here's what I think was going on. And from what I understand, it wasn't a very big part. And so they weren't wanting to pay her a lot of money because it's not taking place in Woodsboro. Mm-hmm. And so, like in the storyline in the last one, Gail was already living in New York because she's a famous talk show host. And so it makes sense for her to be living in this city, in this big city. That's where her show is and everything. But as far as like Nev Campbell being in it, I think the idea was her to like just have a small role, like maybe a phone call or something that, them talking to her, but they also weren't willing to pay her a lot. And
guys, what if she's Ghostface? What if this is all just a setup and she's in the movie and she's Ghostface?
That I would hate that. I would hate that.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm rooting for it.
Well, then a rumor came around that the negotiations with Nev Campbell turned into the small role for this one, but the lead in the next one. And now she's just bowed out altogether.
Well, yeah, and it really became public knowledge that she was pissed about what they offered her. And she was like, she had a big statement she put out. I'm way worth more than that to this franchise. And she's right. She's been the main character of every franchise. Well, the half main character of the last one. But for them to just sort of like treat her like, it'd be offering like, we're going to do a Die Hard movie and just pay, Bruce Willis nothing. And
Bruce Willis is only in for like a scene or two.
But yeah, I mean, you're right.
Right.
But it also
now imagine being a producer and the director's like, hey, we got Nev in this movie for 5 minutes, but she wants to be paid like the lead. Get out of here.
No, I mean you're not wrong. I totally agree with that. I honestly don't know fully what happened. I know that she was doing another show called Lincoln Lawyer at the time that's kind of gotten some press, and I don't know if maybe she got a jolt of like, what? No. And then, but I was telling Andrew, I don't see them. I see her still making another Scream movie.
Oh, but here's the thing, by the way, I want to go back to the Nev Campbell point because Nev, you're not the star of this franchise. The Ghostface Killer is the star of this franchise. I hate to break it to you.
Well, I don't know though, because Hello Sydney is the whole thing.
Yeah, it could have been Hello anybody though. It could be Hello Andrew. It could be Hello Peter. It could be Hello Samantha.
But it featured her and it kept circling back to someone in her family from one all the way to 4.
The story
but
is really about her.
I mean, you can replace her with. They're doing it obviously. Jenna Ortega, who right now is on fire, right?
You're right.
Everybody's talking about Jenna Ortega. Nobody cares if Nev Campbell's not in it. As long as you got the Ghostface Killer, people are going to watch this movie.
But look, you're wrong though, man, because the horror fans do love Nev Campbell. I mean, there's a reason she still goes to all these conventions and stuff. I'm not saying that people aren't going to go see a Scream movie without her. I'm just saying that
there was a movie. Take Ghostface Killer out. Will people go watch this movie?
Well, no, but that's a loaded question though. What I'm saying is there was a lot of people that were very upset that she wasn't going to be in this because it's the first one without her. And what I'm saying is I know this because I'm all up in the horror communities, and in the horror community, that is a real thing. So, but again, that she's not the reason people go see the movie. Yes, people go see the movie for kills and Ghostface, but it was a big deal. Like having a Star Wars movie that didn't have any Skywalker people, they still haven't been able to do that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's where they went wrong, because they should have just made it all new, right? You shouldn't have had Luke or anybody in there.
So no, I mean, yeah, you're right. But anyways, we don't want to get off on that tangent because I just want to get through these picks. Showing them they're running into this store, and then obviously there's your buddy right there that would have already said, "Hey, what the hell's going on?" There'd be glass on the window.
Second part of this trailer that I had a problem with: no white dude runs a bodega in New York City.
Well, he might not be the owner, man. He could just be working it.
Yeah, his name is not Ali. He is not running that bodega. Okay.
So should we do a separate podcast and just make it a joke podcast? Or can we...
You know what I'm here for. All right, go on. I'm sorry, man.
No, so yes, you're right. I mean, who knows? I knew Andy Miller who lived in Harlem. So
yeah, he didn't work in no bodega, trust me. Plus he's Venezuelan. So maybe he was working in bodega.
You're right. He was he Venezuelan?
Yeah.
So again, this guy right here talking to them, and it looks like they've been running. Who knows?
That homeboy looks really familiar, by the way. Has he been in other stuff? The homeboy with the goatee, or does he have that look?
Yeah, I don't recognize him.
He might be that typical character actor that you see get killed in various horror movies. But I mean, that's probably the extent.
Yeah, gotcha. As soon as I saw the trailer, I saw that dude, and I was like, that dude looks like somebody. But
yeah, I'm not sure who it is. But then moving on to, what were you going to say?
I was about to, you picked the worst screen grabs of Jenna Ortega. Every grab, she's got a horrendous face going.
Well, trust me, you try to get these screen grabs, man. They were like a millisecond long.
Right.
I mean, they were all this is the opening of the trailer where everything's super fast cut. And so this is the main character right here. I'm drawing a blank on her name. I'm not sure why. But I'm not sure if she's going to be the main character in this one or not, or if it's going to focus on Jenna more because of Jenna being so hot in the industry. Mm-hmm. But I don't, one of the things I like to do is I like to look for stuff in this. And then, of course, what they're looking at is this Ghostface walking in. Mm-hmm. I don't see anything in the background here. I don't see much in the background here. This really was just an opening shot to just show, oh, crap, shit's about to go down. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, this guy gets stabbed right here. And he's, what the hell are you doing? Hey, buddy. And of course, they're freaking out.
There's a lot of wear and tear in that Ghostface mask, if you notice, right?
So that was one of the things that we're wondering about is like, is this a person who's a collector? And the reason we're saying that is because there's a second, you saw the shot, I'm sure, where they were all like surrounded around each other.
Yeah.
And it's all the like Ghostface mask and all the like costumes.
Yeah.
Walk into like a lair. I can't tell if this is going to be multiple people or if this is going to be one person that's obsessed.
Well, I mentioned that one of the things about the latest Halloween was that they used the original mask from the 70s, so it obviously had some wear and tear on it and look aged. So maybe there's a story behind this one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's the original mask from the first, like from the evidence locker of Billy Loomis or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, definitely. That's the best shot I can get of him stabbing right there. Yeah, and then again, blurred shots, but they're obviously freaking out, and I think this is the middle of a chase that they've already been on that seems to be wrapping up right here. And everybody was wondering about in the previews because they showed this shot in the preview of Ghostface with a shotgun. But it is just because this guy is firing this shotgun at him. And then, of course, he dodges it out. Boom.
Man, this dude's got that stormtrooper aim.
Yeah, right? I mean, look, buddy.
Yeah.
You had him.
You got
his turn.
You got the shotgun. You got sprawl, buddy. You should be able to hit him from there.
No,
what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, unless you're shooting with like an old school dead buckshot or something, that would fire. But you're right. He did that shot. But obviously, he turns around and it looks like he misses him out.
Man, though, when you watch this trailer, though, and I know a lot of it can be manipulated because it's just a trailer, but the way that it portrays Ghostface dodging that gun, it makes me wonder, like, are they going a supernatural element here? That's another kind of maybe they're jumping on that bandwagon to keep the franchise fresh. Is where it's a Michael
Okay, so
Myers
let's say hypothetically that happens. How would you feel as slasher fans?
I don't know if I want them to go that route with Ghostface and with the Scream franchise. I mean, with Michael Myers, it kind of makes a little sense because it's always been this, he's pure evil. There's evil inside of him. But like I said, Ghostface has always just been the mask was an excuse to hide who the face was, who the person was.
Yeah.
There's no like evil incarnate inside these people. It's always a result of something that they were wanting to get back at. And it was usually teenagers. You know, it was never something that was evil. Like, and so to have they're evil in the sense that they're killing people, but I don't know. I don't want supernatural.
So is Wes Craven a part of this one as well?
Well, he's dead.
Well, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Wes Craven, whoever the original production company. The reason I asked that is, do you think they're trying to, once again, pick at a trope? And if so, how does that play into it?
I think that they were trying to exercise the whole trope thing finally out when they did last one, part 5. I think that they were doing their trope thing. And I don't think they're going to try to go so tropey with this one. Personally, I don't think they will, unless they are just going to try to go like full on just city slasher tropes with some other way of being tropey. But as far as being a movie within a movie, making fun of itself and being, you know, it's like, because like even in the last one, they're talking about we got to make our ending to our movie, and
yeah,
I don't really feel them going that way this time. I
don't
even
with the. Even with the in 4 and even in 2, I guess you could say, in 3, that, you know, they're making fun of the tropes, so to speak, but they're also doing the tropes. So it's like, you know, you're making fun of the genre and the tropes that
like they'll make fun of the way somebody dies, and then later in the movie somebody dies that way. Fun of,
yeah. So it's like, you know, so I guess it's tongue in cheek in that sense that, you know, you're not really making fun of it so as much as you're just, you know, poking fun at how, you know, horror films have to have these tropes, or it's, you have to have these rules, you know. So it would that's, I guess it would be nice to know that this one is not going to be full of the tropiness or even making fun of the tongue in cheek. Like, bring it back to just being scary.
I agree. And I don't want supernatural. I'd much rather it just still be a person.
What if the guys from Supernatural showed up?
Dean and Sam, the Winchesters. Oh boy, dude, give me some Jensen ankles. I know it's ankles, but wait, me and my buddy like to say ankles. Yeah, that'd be great, dude. If or what if he's actually Jason Teague, Coach Teague from Smallville?
Oh yeah. That's a good callback. There's all 4 viewers of ours. There's one that knows that callback.
No, I mean, look, I want there to be some sort of a connection to make you be like, but it just needs to be cool and not cheesy. I don't want it to be like when Tobey Maguire steps through the ring and No Way Home and he's like, hey guys, let me step on in. And you hear the audience applause in the background. Like I need it to be something that'll be like, oh shit, how did I not see that coming?
Actually, I disagree. I think there's always I think there's always that moment in these Scream movies where they got to bring it back somehow to the first one, to the second one, to whatever. You know, I think another thing to keep this fresh and different from any other Scream movie that we've seen is to let's not reveal who it is, and let's not give them a
guys, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like a showdown.
Oh, you really think we need one?
I think so. I don't think it's gonna be me and you this time, though. Hit that showdown music. Hit it.
So we need to get so who is the showdown between?
Between you and Whirly Burly, because I think I agree with Whirly, but I want to hear you. You know, okay, so let's go ahead and let's really take this out. Andrew, you've already made this point, but kind of give me your elevator pitch on what you think needs to happen in this movie with her slash going.
Well, I was just saying that one thing this franchise loves to do that maybe they should step away from to keep things fresh and new is to let's not have some sort of like, oh man, I can't believe that, I didn't see that coming. Cut that shit out. And the other one is let's not reveal the killer. Make it to where it's a cliffhanger of well, we never got to see who it is. Well, now the only way to see who it is if you watch the one that obviously is going to come out next summer or whenever, So I don't think that you need to have a holy shit, I didn't see that coming moment.
Well, let me ask you this:
the holy shit, I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. Could be, I thought we are going to see who these killers are or this killer is, and you didn't.
But in the next movie, would you have a big reveal?
Well, of course. I think you could look at this as a whole new trilogy within the saga of Scream. And this trilogy is now about a cult of people who don the ghost face, or just a couple of guys who are just obsessive killers and thought, why don't we just wear masks?
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying to Andrew earlier. I was like, it would be kind of cool to think about, like, what if there's like a real killer? I say cool. I'm not saying it's cool for anyone to be killing one in real life, but if you think about it, like if I'm a writer trying to write something,
Bubba.
yeah. If I'm a writer trying to write something and you're thinking about, like, what would a real killer do? Somebody that's actually out there trying to be a serial killer. It would be kind of creepy if they were just like, you know what I should do? I should put on a Michael Myers mask. Like, wouldn't you be freaked out if you just heard on the news that like somebody has been seen going into people's houses and these people have been found dead and this person was seen wearing a Michael Myers mask? Like, that would be fucked up, And so, like, if some killers in New York were on this killing spree and they're like, it would be fucked up if we wore that mask that all that people got killed by in Woodsboro. To have no connection whatsoever, I think would be kind of cool. But the only connection that still lies is that, and Anshul, you don't know this because you didn't see the last one. The main girl in this one is this girl right here.
Mm-hmm.
That's Billy Loomis's daughter. So, and it's a long story. It gets all,
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for Jerry to come out and tell me the story.
Well, you're not wrong about that because it's definitely a bunch of affairs and all that stuff going on.
Billy, you are the father.
That's the only real true connection still.
But guys, what about this? What about this ending? Okay, so we have a reveal, but it's a false reveal. We get the reveal, and they go to arrest. The Scooby Gang goes to arrest and unmask the killer. And we find our ghost face or ghost face eye, if it's multiple ghost faces, right? And they're all dead. They've all been killed. And on the way out, we get a glance of a new killer. It's not Ghostface. It's a different mask. It's a different killer. And we end it with there being a new killer that's not Ghostface, and Ghostface is quote unquote dead.
I don't know if that'll happen.
You just gotta make the new mask cool. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, but I don't see why the mask is now. While I don't think that Neve Campbell is unimportant to the franchise, and I think she's vital. Ghostface is a massive part of it. So, like,
but you can always bring it back. You always have Ghostface come back and kill the new guy in the next movie. Depending.
Anshul, that's on par with trying to say Michael Myers needs to have a new mask. It's not going to work. You can't do that. The Scream movies, the franchise, it's already been 1-in-1 with the mask. You can't. I agree.
No, I agree. I'm just spitballing, but I think it's a way to play with revitalizing. And if it doesn't work, you could always bring back Ghostface in the next movie and have him kill.
Sure. You're right. They've done that a few times with franchises and have inevitably always had to go back to what sold. I'm trying to think of a time of anything where they were just like, we're going to shift gears hardcore, and it worked, and people were like, yes. I'm sure there's something out there that exists, but I just can't think of it. But look, going back to this, because this whole time we've been showing shots of this scene, but he, blows that dude all to hell, and they're trying to crawl out of there, and then Ghostface sees him walking away, and he's like, he sees him walking away. He's like, oh, you sons of bitches. They're looking at him. Oh, and I just love how
that's a great shot.
Oh, I got your ass. But then they don't show us what happens. They immediately cut again to another city shot, which that's New York, right?
That's the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
And hey, I think there's a good chance that whole convenience store thing is maybe even towards the end, where they've been on the run for half the movie already.
Saying. It looks like that they're running from something that's been already going down that we were in the middle.
Is this what studio puts out this movie? Is it Sony?
It's Paramount now.
Okay,
It's
because if it was
Paramount
Sony, then you would
Sky
know that was the end. Sony
Right.
loves putting the end in their movies.
Boy,
Or
do
in their trailers.
they like just clipping it all for you. They just like to
Yeah.
give you all the big moments and just
Yeah.
and then mess it up.
Yeah, exactly.
But then right away, cutting to her, it looks like she's talking to a psychiatrist about some stuff, and she's claiming that there's a darkness that's been inside her, and she feels like it's following her. And as she's narrating that, they're showing a clip of her holding this, bloodied up, scarred up. So I don't know. Now, Andrew, do you think that this is like at the end of the last one? Or you think that this is in this one? Because like she's holding this mask and all bloodied up. Do you think
I think that's going to be revealed as a dream where she's haunted by the mask and she's holding it like Luke's face is inside Vader's mask.
Right. I know
kind of, like I think that's going to be revealed that that's what that moment is.
Okay, that's interesting. Because to me, I mean, that I didn't think about that, but that I could totally see that being that because it is haunting her, and she says it. She says that the darkness is following me, but also at the end of her saying that, they start showing clips of this. That's super creepy. And then they cut to, they're just like, everybody get back, and it shows this girl like sitting up. It shows her being like, "Who's there? Who's there?" And that's Randy's niece right there on the left.
Okay.
And then we get these shots right here, which are, beautifully done. And then another person that you might not be aware of that was in part 4, Anshul, was Hayden Panettiere, the cheerleader from Heroes. And, she's in this one showing back up. She apparently, from what I understand, she's supposed to be like an FBI agent in this one. And in part 4, she was like a horror movie buff. And she was also like behaving like a profiler. Like she was always like breaking people down and like telling them, "No, you like to do this." Like she was just smart that way. So
yeah.
I've read that like her whole thing is because of what happened to her and like her intelligence, she decided to put that to use and become a FBI.
Well, you think that she died in part 4 because she got stabbed. So what I was telling Bobby was, I would just hope that they would retroactively kind of explain when she
was wearing your stab-proof vest.
Yeah, when you see her show back up, there would be like a, I was left for dead and I survived. Kind of like Randy, you thought he was shot, except it showed him alive at the end. And part 4, once she was stabbed, you thought she was dead. So then suddenly she's back in part 6. Yeah. So I just think that one.
Like one can claim that she didn't nobody ever actually saw her die. But the thing is at the very end, they're talking about the only survivors being Neve Campbell and Emma Roberts, right. Like, okay, well, if you look
maybe it's a flashback. Guys, do you think they'll try to kill off the old cast?
Well, Dewey's already dead. They killed him.
Yeah, Dewey died.
And the remainder of the old cast. Do you think they're going to try to kill them off? If Nev's not coming back, then just kill them all?
I wouldn't be surprised if they killed Gail in this, because it does cut to a scene of her, like when Hayden says, "Yeah, we have a history together," and then she cuts to Gail right here, and it does have a scene where Gail's in her apartment, and Ghostface is up in there. So, I mean, I could see her getting killed.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, also a conversation we had yesterday or a couple days ago was that I think since Neve Campbell is not in this one, unless she has just told them to piss off that she doesn't want anything to do with it, what they should do is kill Gail off in this one, and that would leave Neve Campbell, Sydney, as the only original Woodsboro killers survivors, and then part 7, which there's obviously going to be one, can be featured about around her and maybe trying to avenge Gail's death or be like, I know I'm the last one, kind of thing. So I think that they should kill her off. Or
they could just cross their fingers and hope Jenna Ortega's star power continues to rise and then just make her the face.
Well, that's what's so funny, because in the trailer of the last Scream movie, they made it seem like she was going to be the star of the last Scream movie, and she's the co-star. She's not. She's in it, She's in the whole movie, but she's not the main character.
Mhm.
And in this one, I'm curious. I'm not sure if I think she might be the same as what she was in the last one, but they could kill off the main star, which is her older sister in this one, and make her sort of the main star of part 3 and 4. The way they did with the Freddy movies, they would transition the characters. They would pass, like they'd both be in one, then one would die, and the other. You know what I mean?
Or the Undisputed series.
Yeah, yeah. They, I honestly can see them making probably at least up to part 9 of this now. Like, I'm not saying that I want them to, but the way that this has gotten regained its boom again, I think that they're going to try to make them every year like Saw. I really do, because they're cheap to make. They don't cost any money, and
it doesn't mean they're all going to be good. But
oh no,
you're right.
I don't think they are going to all be good. I just say I think we're going to get them all the way going up to 9 now.
It's just, you told me that with the Fast and Furious stuff, you think 4, 5, and 6 could be its own trilogy.
Those are solid as a trilogy. Yes.
And so I'm looking at this revamping of the Scream of these Scream movies as part 5, which they stupidly just called Scream.
Yeah.
But part 5 and 6 and 7, maybe we could look at that as that could be a cool trilogy within itself. And by doing that, that would mean, like, that's what I'm saying when I say don't reveal the killer, make the killer or the killers something that's going to come back in part 7, or 6 or 7. It's not revealed until you get to the
or do a fake reveal, and then at the end, the audience knows it's a fake reveal.
Yeah, the audience knows that he's not still, he or she is still out there or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's another thing too. Like, don't make us get used to a new cast again, like, and even in the sequels to the other movies, because of course everybody's dying. Yes, okay, now we got to get used to a new cast again so we can watch them all die. Of course, we have your 3 or 4 carryover members, but why can't they just have 3 or 4 carryover members?
Hey, man, Game of Thrones did it. Game of Thrones kept killing everybody.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but have 3 or 4 carryover members that don't necessarily die all the time. Other people can get introduced and die, but you don't have to get to know a new core cast every time.
Well, the first movie, which is funny, people say this all the time, but I never remembered her being featured as the main attraction. But a lot of people say, hey, listen, I went in the movie thinking Drew Barrymore was going to be the main star.
Oh, everybody did.
I did.
Well, that was the marketing thing behind it, Anshul, was you wanted to see Drew Barrymore, and like that was the name that was the name. No, yeah, that was the name you associated with that movie. When you saw the cover of it, you saw the trailer, and then she's dead in the first 15 minutes. It was brilliant.
Yeah, and you might be right, but for some reason, my memory, I was like, I just think, like, man, I don't ever remember me going in there thinking that she was going to be the lead. I wasn't shocked when she died. Now, once again, I'm one of the few, if not the only one, because everybody else says, that's what makes that movie great. Is they all thought Drew Barrymore was going to be the lead.
Yeah, no, they even, on the behind the scenes, Wes Craven and all of them talk about it. It's like, yeah, we wanted to advertise her as the lead. That's why she's on the cover, and yeah, it was awesome.
Well, Bobby and I,
you could do that again.
Bobby and I even reference in the next project that we have in the works, that I'm developing a script for. We are calling the first kill our Drew Barrymore kill.
Yeah. Which obviously and honestly is actually just a revised, quickened version of Psycho, because Psycho was the same thing, and then Nightmare on Elm Street did the same thing. They get you attached to somebody that you're following. Like Psycho and Nightmare on Elm Street, you're following them for 30 minutes, and you're into their story. And then they get killed, and then you realize the story's actually about somebody else, whereas Scream just did it in the first 10, 15 minutes. But Psycho, Janet Leigh, you're literally following her, traveling with her, getting into the shower with her, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, this movie's about Norman Bates.
Yeah.
But anyways, so with that being said, is this killer leaving messages everywhere in graffiti? Because this is another shot that says, what's your favorite scary movie? Now, that makes me think that it's not doing it to be like, what's your favorite scary movie, to have more horror movie trope fun. I think that to me looks like, haha, this is fucked up. What's your favorite scary movie? Heard that before? You know what I mean? Not I'm not actually trying to play the game. I'm trying to be scared because that's something that exists now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so has Ghostface, maybe has Ghostface become like a pseudo celebrity? Like, do they play with social media at all in this story where a lot of
So
people know about
Stab,
Ghostface?
so they've made 7 or 8 movies in the Scream franchise called Stab
Ah,
that
gotcha.
are based
That's
on.
based on Gail. That's based on Gail's book, man.
So
Okay.
all of these characters like Nev Campbell, Sydney, Gail Weathers, Dewey, all them have actor like in part 3, they're on the set of like Stab 3, and Dewey's working as a security manager on the set, and there's people that are playing him. Actors like they make a joke in part 1 about Tori Spelling being like, if they make a movie out of it, I see you as a young Tori Spelling, Sid. And then in the next movie, they show them on the set and doing interviews, and Tori Spelling is playing Sydney, and Luke Wilson is playing Billy Loomis. So like they totally made
Yeah.
fun of that. With
What,
that
what
thing.
I will say, one of the cool things that I really liked about part 3 was they are on a movie set that is supposed to look like Sydney's house in part 1, and she's being chased by the killer on a movie set in a movie, almost following the exact footsteps of what happened
She
in
starts
part
running
1.
up the stairs the same way.
I mean, dude, that I thought was actually really, really brilliant.
I think I remember this. I think I did see this one.
No, I mean, and that one has a lot of cool parts, but again, they all kind of have cheesy moments. The first one is the only one that I've really been blown away start to finish from. The other ones, it's just like they're fun, and I still love it because it's Ghostface. But it is almost like when Friday the 13th, when Jason comes on the screen, you're like, "Yeah, fuck him up, Jason." That's kind of what you're doing.
The first one made Matthew Lillard a star. It made Nev Campbell a star, right? It made Courtney Cox. Well, I don't know. Courtney Cox maybe Ace Ventura.
Nah, she was already in Friends, man.
Yeah,
but it put her in. It put her more into the upper. Like,
yeah, it put her more,
and she's a part of this huge horror.
Yeah, it put her more than just a TV star. Yeah, for sure.
But you're right, Matthew Lillard, and he was my favorite part about that movie. When I saw
he was everybody. That's what everybody talked about after that movie was Matthew Lillard.
I wanted to be him. I wanted to dress like him. Yeah.
Well, Bobby claims that there's a lot of rumors going around where Stu's name is being thrown around for all over the place for somehow reviving his character in this. But I think that's going to be an epic failure if that's the case, because you saw the TV fall on his head in part 1. There was never anything from all the way to part 5. There's never a mention of his name as possibly being alive. So I just think that's going to be a nightmare if they try to somehow make it where he's been alive this whole time. Because if he's been alive this whole time, that means there's a group of people who were hiding the fact that he was really alive, and now you've got a whole conspiracy kind of thing going on.
Hey, we are doing Court Owls apparently, so
yeah. I mean, no. So look, here you go. Speaking of, so this is what I like to look for. So like, do you see anything in this that gives you any sort of clues? So like, on the right there, we've got obviously there's a Ghostface mask. And it's a countertop. It looks like this is things collected from the past. I'm trying to see if I recognize any of these shirts. And Andrew and I will know more of this stuff than you would, Anshul. But any of these like shirts that are on the podiums, I don't know if you see. There's a to the left over here. There's a picture, like a white and black drawn like portrait style picture, and it looks like it could be Kirby from part 4.
Okay, yeah, we got a picture of a black and white photo there. It looks like it could be the moms. Right on my left.
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, but it looks like it also could be Kirby, the girl Hayden Panettiere, like because she had super short hair in part 4.
Okay.
But I'm not. Who knows? I
mean, hey, on the far left, not at the far left, the edge of the screen. Look to the right of that. There's another picture that looks a little bit bigger. That looks like a 1970s.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's right next to the shirt.
That looks like it could. I wonder if that might be a picture of Sydney's mom from when she was in Hollywood.
There you go. Maybe
Sydney's mom was in Hollywood. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because she was in Hollywood in part 3.
Yeah,
it was like a past life.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so I'm not really recognizing. I think I tried to get one more shot in there, but maybe I didn't.
Yo, Sydney's mom really gets slut shamed, huh?
Dude. They do. They even call her that. They're like, she's nothing but a dime store hooker.
Well, no, Billy says she flashed her shit all the time like she was Sharon Stone, and let's face it.
Yo,
Your mom was no Sharon Stone.
yo, Billy, let's try not to have these gender dynamics, okay? Let's try to be a little more progressive, Billy. You know,
Yeah.
if you can sleep around and have a daughter when you were 17, why can't she sleep around? Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, it was the 90s. It was a different time then. It's funny to say that, right?
Yeah,
But it was. So here's your Court of Owls shot, though, for sure.
yeah.
I mean, they're walking in there, and obviously you see
One of those people is, by the way, you know, one of those people is not gonna be a mannequin. Let's just say
right
this right
at
now.
some point, yeah, for sure. But if you look closely, none of them. When I first saw the trailer of this, I thought that there was Ghostface mask on them, but there's no Ghostface masks. They're all
Oh, there's not. You're right. There's cloaks.
No, I think those are actual, like actually worn by the suspect over the course of the movies.
Right.
You know, like an evidence room or something. But why it looks like a shrine, I don't really know.
Yeah, but I mean, and again, this looks like the same thing. It's like a collection of all this stuff. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be Stu, if it's going to be somebody else. I don't know what the hell, but it definitely is. I don't know if it's going to be a group of them or not, or if it's going to be one person. But she finds this knife in there, and I don't know if she's picking it up because she just wants to, but it looks like it's been used, and it looks like it's from the past movie.
Right.
Damn, whose dog is that?
Man, it's my fucking neighbor, man.
It's
Somehow
too loud, man. It's too distracting.
Yo, it's all good. It's all good, man. We got dog noise. So hey, that's what happens when you're on natural, as Max McConaughey would say.
Tell him to shut up, man. I do that all the time to my neighbors. I'm like, shut that fucking dog up.
Yeah, I used to run into McConaughey when I lived in Austin. Like, he'd just be at random clubs, and the dude doesn't believe in deodorant. So that would just be his line. Be like, hey, man, I probably smell, but I'm just on natural, you know? And you couldn't really say anything because you know he still gets more girls than, you know, in 5 minutes than I could in my entire life.
Damn it.
All right.
Maybe the dog is the killer.
We're going to have to lose viewers with that dog, dude. That's all I hear. Like, seriously, can't go on with that dog.
All right. It looks like we might have gotten the issue solved.
Yeah, seriously. And also, it's 10:30 at night. Tell him to shut that dog up.
I think they finally got him inside.
Good. All right. So, anyways.
You know that dog saw Ghostface, and that's, you know, when you were sitting here making fun of it, Andrew's about to get murdered by Ghostface, and then he's gonna realize the dog was trying to warn him the entire time.
Man, I wish I had, you know, just a Vegas military drone. I could just fly over to certain places and just be like, all right, I'm done with you. So going back to this, obviously she's looking at this stuff in the mirror. She's freaking out. So is Jenna Ortega. Obviously, they're both freaking out. It looks like Jenna Ortega is still hurt from the last movie.
I don't think that's the same place.
No, I know they're not in there. I'm just saying, like, I'm just going through the shots of the movie because, I mean, I don't know what this is explaining. You know what I mean? But then right here, there's a phone call that happens. Is this Dewey?
That picture?
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell. I don't know who else it was.
Nah, it looks like Vince from Entourage more than
Right.
like Dewey.
No, I would say that's Dewey because that obviously looks like she was in her younger days.
Right, it does. But there's an unknown caller. We see her answer the phone, but it also looks like she has somebody with her in this apartment. So maybe that's the person in the picture. And sorry, I thought I had, there it is. So there's the dude right behind her walking up. And then obviously, boom, you see Ghostface creep around. And then boom.
Now in the trailer, if you actually play this part, you hear him talking to her saying, you know, he says, what's your favorite scary movie? And she's like, you know how many times people have called me and asked me that, you know? And she's like, get a new story. He's like, well, I'm, and as he's talking in his normal demeanor, you see behind her somebody so it's like, okay, that either they're overlapping the sound and that's the dialogue is from another scene, which is easy to do, or it's obviously somebody the physical part of Ghostface and somebody doing the phone call, which means there's two.
Two people.
Yeah. Hey, he's keeping her distracted by talking to her, asking her questions like who still has a house phone. That should be one
Yeah,
of the questions he asked her.
yeah, like literally, who's still
Yeah.
Who still uses a house phone? Claire?
Right. Bro, that should be in the script. You know, that one of the jokes should be, why do you still have a house phone?
Yeah.
It's
I
hilarious.
mean, God bless.
I mean, look how terrible that, and it's not even a wireless one from the wall. You still have a cord sticking out from it. That's terrible.
From under the picture? Yeah, let's not.
Classic. No, I think it's clearly two people talking, at least, maybe more. And that's what I think they want us to think that there's multiple Ghostface in this one. They definitely want us to feel that way, which again, I'll have to see how that turns out. But obviously she's looking at it and she heard something. She didn't see her man getting taken away. And I got to switch brands here now, guys. I have to go over to my other page because I was running out of photo space. And then she sees her boyfriend or whoever that is get thrown through the wall. And then, oh my God. And then, of course, there he is. Boom. And he's talking to her. And he just says some other, some quippy line.
Well, at that moment, he says, I think he says something like, I'm something different.
Yeah. Because she was asking him the same old story. And then he jumps and lunges at her. And of course, we don't see what happens because she just starts running away from him. And then she gets behind the door, shooting at him. And again, he just jumps at her through there. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is her death scene.
Hey, I was saying the same thing.
Right there.
Yeah.
So, and if she does die, I'll be happy about that. Not that I hate Gail. I love Gail, but I need him to start, she should have been the one that died last time, not Dewey. And Andrew and I were talking about this. It would have been Wade. Dewey was already in this sort of like living in a trailer, drinking, but he still cleaned his gun every day. And he still like had a little bit of steam left in him, to fight. And if Gail, and he still wanted to be with Gail. And if there would have been that sort of, now he has to suffer without Gail and there's no shot at them ever getting back together. And that would have just made for a great character to make more story off of. Sure. But Gail having watching Dewey die, and I don't know. I just would have preferred it the other way.
But the producer probably got in their ear and was like, who's got more star power? That's who.
That is exactly what I told Bobby.
Andrew said, yeah. And, but the thing is like David Arquette's into like MMA in real life, like for real, and like so that would have been awesome to see. Like,
is he? I know he's into wrestling now.
He got into it once he got sober. He got into MMA because I guess it was helping him like, fight.
But then. Right. But then again, Anshul, that kind of goes to play devil's advocate with your theory of is it Ghostface that is the franchise, the franchise of Scream, or is it, a survivor, because you could argue if it really is all about Ghostface, it doesn't matter who else it is, then you can pitch and say, well, then why can't David Arquette be the guy this time?
Well, if I was a producer, I might say
he's grieving Gail. He's on a mission. He's like Jamie Lee Curtis 40 years later from Halloween, just has been preparing for this moment. And it is fucking dark and he is ready. But it's still about Ghostface.
Well, yeah, but a producer might come back and say, like, listen, it's been a long time between these movies. Yeah, I agree. Ghostface is the main draw, but we also need bankable actors on top of Ghostface to make sure we get a nut, right?
Well, I guarantee you this next movie, a lot of people that are watching Wednesday that are loving that are going to go see it because Jenna Ortega's in it.
Yeah, that's why I now, then again, this movie did wrap before Wednesday popped off.
She was already on her hot streak though, Jenna was. Like she's been rolling them out.
So I don't know. Okay, so this cousin is probably going to be, Billy's first cousin, fourth removed, whatever.
yeah, fourth removed.
Yeah. What if you said which movie was there only one killer?
Part 3.
What if there was actually 2 in part 3 and we find out that one got away and that's who the killer is in this movie?
That's interesting. That's a good. We need to get Anshul over here for some brainstorming writing sessions. That's not bad.
I'll be down. That'd be one way to keep this fresh.
Yeah, that's not that. No, look, something like that would be cool. I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. They can connect it back to the past as long as it's not cheesy, as long
Yeah.
as it's something that's really cool.
Well, and sometimes the idea you have of how to connect it back might be good, but writing that in the story now you realize no, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
things change, right?
I
Things
don't want
change.
Stu Macher coming back. As much as I like Matthew Lillard, that makes the story cheesy. That desecrates the first one. You know, I don't want that. Like, just make something different. Like we said, the best thing they could do is make it 2 killers, 1 killer, 3 killers, whatever, that have nothing to do with the past, that are just psychos, and they just decide, oh, this would be also fucked up to use the ghost face masks, and then don't even tell us who it is by the end of this next one. Then you got a movie on your hands.
You know, I mean, even Billy in the first one said, you know, it's a lot scarier and there's no motive, Sid. But they all have had a motive.
That is
so how
true.
about so maybe with this one you really stick with that whole phrase and what's like these guys never had a motive. They're just fucking psychopaths and they wanted to kill people and they thought what better way than to put this mask on.
There's lots of ways you could do. You could always throw it in. This is not a good idea, but this is just one thing you could do. Is you could throw it into where, hey, there have been people behind this the whole time that have been kind of just coaxing these people on, finding guys like Billy. You know, it's a society. Maybe it's a bunch of rich people that fucking get off on making people into serial killers, like the Court of Owls, right? And they've been manipulating things for the whole time. There's a lot of things you can do.
Then you realize Hostel and Scream exist in the same world.
Oh, that'd be great.
They've all got that tattoo.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Billy's mother in part 2, she makes a reference that they met each other on some sort of serial killer database online, and all he needed was some nurturing.
Dude, that's a good callback catch, dude. That's something that I knew, but that totally slipped my mind. That's awesome. That's a good one right there.
Yeah, so that'd be another way to reinvent it. Like, hey, listen, the reason all this is happening is because there's something larger at play that you didn't know about. And I think that plays on people's paranoia about that sort of thing, you know? So,
well, especially today, the way people are obsessed with true crime and being, you know, their own detectives and things like that. That's an interesting angle. I would like to see that maybe work.
That'd be another. Have you guys ever watched Don't Fuck with Cats?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
That'd be another cool angle to bring in here is the online sleuths. Have they already done that?
Not really. They haven't tapped on that much. Like they've tapped into like social media is a thing in these movies now. Like the people are on it and they're talking and it's a part of the story, but it's not been like part of the plot, like a sleuth thing being part of the plot.
Yeah.
You know
Part four, one of the guys is like videotaping a screening of the new Stab movie.
And he's got his own channel and
he's got his own channel, you know, and then people see a real killing happen and they think it's part of his whole shtick.
It's all staged, yeah. But speaking of just that, this kind of a segue to this shot right here. Like, I wonder what's going on right here. There's a ghost face mask drawn around, obviously something that's projecting something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as to what this is that they're projecting.
We saw him in his lair. Maybe this is his theater room.
Yeah.
Maybe it's where he kicks back and watches Lord of the Rings when he's not killing people.
Or Willow.
Yeah.
God.
Hey, guys, fans of our channel, don't expect episode 2 review on Willow because that's probably never happening.
No, we're not going to do that. I told Anshul, I think you said, like, I never watched any more Willow. It's like, I did. I watched the second episode and I didn't watch anymore. It's so bad, dude.
I haven't bothered even trying to watch that. I don't need some nostalgic reason to watch a movie that nobody really cares about. And
it was super bandwagony, dude. Like, honestly, when you start watching it, you just feel it's like, oh, well, these guys are jumping on a bandwagon. And it's like, well, let's use a Willow character.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it was. But anyways, jumping back to Scream. So I'm curious to see what that is that they're showing. Yeah, maybe they are watching Willow. But then obviously
that's the scariest movie of them all.
Yeah. Look at her. She's like, no, not the Willow series. But so there's a ghost face in the back over there, and it looks like they're doing this sort of back-to-back deal, and it looks like she's maybe facing someone.
Yeah, she's obviously looking at something that we can't see.
Right. So, I mean, maybe there is 2 killers, maybe there's 3, 4, who knows? But I just want to see something that's going to surprise me, and I don't want it to just be sticking to the same old formula.
Now, this scene right here, that's interesting. Is that a ghost face?
No,
I mean,
that's one of the girls behind her, I think, right there.
And there's got to be somebody else holding that ladder.
Yeah, she's
on the other
climbing right
side.
there because then they show her trying to climb across. Now, oh, hang on a second. My battery's running low. Give me 1 second, guys. Y'all keep talking real quick. I didn't realize something wasn't plugged in.
Yo, Andrew, when we get you on, we get to start doing these Patreon episodes.
Yeah. Saturdays or Friday evenings. I mean, what I mean.
So feel free to get wasted on it. You know.
Well, I'm going to be off. My work is giving me off on the 27th for MLK Day. They kind of rotated people in and out for their days off. So
YouTube, even the white people get off for MLK Day. They didn't do
Yeah.
nothing to help. You know.
All right.
it was the national holiday, so yeah, they're honoring it.
Yeah, no, I got you. But
My
yeah,
computer wasn't plugged in. I didn't realize that.
that's fine. Okay, so we're back to. By the way, that's a scary shot for me because I'm terrified of heights, and I can't imagine being on that ladder. Yo, if I had a choice between Ghostface and that ladder, I might have to have Ghostface kill me, guys. You know.
I'm not a heights guy either. Like give me railing, give me something to cool railing, solid railing to stand on, and all. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yo, have you ever gone to like somebody's penthouse, like that's like in like a high rise, a super high rise, and gone on their patio and looked down and be like, okay, I'm backing up to the door.
Yeah. No, I don't like looking down either. Like,
yeah, but if it's between that and getting stabbed, you're probably going to climb that ladder.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yo, my balance is bad too, so I know I'd be falling off that ladder.
That's another thing too. I tense up in the heights. But I'm the same way with the water though. I don't get in the water. Like I've seen too many creature features, man. It's like, nope, that's not for me. If I can't see in there and it's past knee deep, I'm out of here. But you were talking about Ghostface being on the other side because this, I think, is just one of the other girls like, hurry, helping her. But then this is the Ghostface. It's like, oh, snap, because he's like, I think I know what I'm going to do. He turns his head, and then you can see the knife by the ladder right here. He's like, I'm about to do something. So obviously, I'd like to think that Randy's niece gets it right there. I'd like to think that she's about to go down somehow or another. And look, one of the things I did like about part 5 is the kills were good. That wasn't the issue. It just, I didn't care for the story. So hopefully they'll do the kills right in this one as well and amp up the story, but I am looking forward to some good kills.
You know what I'd like to see is anybody that has a relation to somebody just die. I don't want to do this anymore. Let's stop doing this 4th cousin, 5th cousin. Let's introduce a new aunt every other movie. Because we got to keep the bloodline going at this. Let's just execute the whole entire bloodline and let's have all 2 characters.
Okay, so here's the deal. What if, again, the main character, why can't I think of her name? What if she does die? If she dies, then the only people left would be Randy's niece and Randy's nephew, because remember her brother.
Yeah, they can go too, man.
No, that's what I'm saying. But if those 3 die, if Courtney Cox dies, then it's over. There's no more actual blood connection. There's nobody from the original films anymore. Maybe they do.
From Sydney.
Well, of course, but I've already said, and you think you agree with me that we've not seen the last of Sydney in the Scream franchise.
And that could be some stakes for the next one. Sydney's the last one left.
That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, you got to make it to where she's the last one, and now the stakes are really high for her character and the next one.
And then she got to go too.
What'd you say?
And then she got to go too.
Yeah, she do got to go. I mean, but it needs to be in the very last one. I don't want to see her die and then them just pick it up again, which they probably will.
You know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see 70-year-old Nev Campbell pulling Jamie Lee Curtis fighting a serial killer in a whack-ass showdown. That's not what I want to see.
No, and I don't want to see a Scream 40 years later type story.
Yeah,
I don't.
But I mean, do you think that the Scream franchise should die when Sydney dies, or do you think it's going to be one of those things where 10 years later, somebody else decides that they want to wear the mask, but it has nothing to do with the previous 10?
I think in our lifetime we will see the first Scream movie be remade.
Oh yeah,
like the way Halloween was remade, like the way Psycho was remade, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre was remade with Jessica. Like in our lifetime, I think we will see them start from scratch.
That's easy money for a producer, man.
Especially with that brand of Ghostface. Like I think it will happen inevitably. I'm not saying now, but like I could see it. Like we're old men and Scream is starting in, and there's a new Sydney, and there's, you know what I mean? Like It's going to be the new take, and Rob Zombie's son's going to direct it.
Or maybe they call it "Don't Scream."
Yeah.
No, for real. They've talked about using that title a ton of times. Like, I don't know.
Have they ever called any of them Ghostface? Why don't they just call it Ghostface?
They've talked about doing that too. And this is another thing that we were talking about. It's kind of like the Friday the 13th and the Jason Voorhees thing. Like Friday the 13th is the rights to that are owned by someone, and Jason Voorhees, the rights to that character are owned by someone.
I think LeBron James owns the rights to Jason Voorhees.
He actually does have. He owns Horror Inc., and Horror Inc. owns that. Yeah, he does. That's why he's been like petitioning to get a Jason Voorhees movie made, because he loves that character. But with this one, it's the same thing. Ghostface and Scream are two separate deals. So, for example, all of my figures over here, my Friday the 13th figures, they're Jason in there, but they say Friday the 13th, and I'm not sure how, because it's only those first movies. I'm not sure how that works. But like the Ghostface one, they don't say Scream; it says Ghostface. So. On my toys. So I'm not sure if they could call it Ghostface or not. I'm sure that whoever owns the rights to that would be like, yeah, that's cool.
I mean, unless a rapper owns the trademark.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's Ghostface Killer, right?
Yeah. But maybe his team might have been smart. Trademark Ghostface Killer, anything adjacent, right?
Dude, I tell you what, the Wu-Tang is smart like that, man.
Yeah,
they're all about that building up everything.
Yeah.
I love those guys, by the way. Wu-Tang for life. So, hey, just wrapping up with this trailer. Obviously, we got a couple of, like I said, this guy, he's at the ladder, and it looks like some more stuff is going down. They're running in between this hallway, and just like, go face running behind them. I like some tense stuff like that. I want a lot of intensity and close-up, gritty shot of the knife right there. Looks like we're going to lose somebody. And it looks like it's Jenna Ortega hanging. And but look, is this Ned? I mean, is this Flash?
Yeah, no, it's Flash.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. You remember when we watched the first episode of Willow, and I said, wouldn't it be hilarious if that was actually just Flash Thompson that somehow got transported into because he looks so lost in that entire show. Like, I shouldn't be here, guys. I don't know why I'm here.
So you know who this is, Andrew?
Yeah. I don't know his name for real, but I know
Spider-Man.
He's the new Flash Thompson.
Yeah,
which I never liked that casting in the first place. He's not big and bully enough, but whatever.
Movies.
I liked him in the movies, but he's not what I saw as Flash. It's in the comics, but I do like him in those movies. I'm not gonna lie. I like him as the character. What's up, Penis Breath?
He's hilarious. Tony Revolori.
But he's in Willow. He's in the Willow show, and he is so out of place in the show. It's like Anshul said, it's like he's Flash Thompson got transported from the multiverse in No Way Home into the Willowverse.
And he's just trying to figure it out. He's just really confused and trying to hope nobody notices.
So he's actually Flash Thompson.
Yeah,
it's so funny. But look, this is what I was going to, because this right here, somebody's fallen. And I don't know if that's...
And she can't get up.
It's shot. It looks like this shot right here, because it looks like the same balcony, but I don't know if that's Ortega or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then we end up the notorious scene at the very end with, it's got our boy from She-Hulk in it.
Yeah, it's also got
I love that guy.
From She-Hulk.
Yeah,
he was great.
What else was he in?
I just know he was in She-Hulk. He was one of the few good things about that show.
No, he was my favorite part about that almost. But then, so the guy right behind the main character, he was the one that got stabbed from the back in Scream 5. Mm-hmm. It's Randy's niece's brother, so Randy's nephew.
We got to go back to that shot. We got a guy in the Day of the Dead makeup right there, or is behind them?
Yeah, no, you do. So it looks like they're Halloween. You got a nun over here. You got Day of the Dead in the back.
No, I think that one in the back that you're thinking of might be The Nun, like the movie The Nun.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, maybe. And then Jenna Ortega right there, obviously, just showing there's Randy's niece. They're all freaking out and having this weird look because they see old boy right here. Now, is this a Halloween costume? Or look at Jason Voorhees in the back over here. You see that?
Yep.
Very bottom right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So is this a Halloween costume or is it somebody? And then you see, oh, it's not just him, but there's a homie over here. Now, it's in bad taste to dress up as a real serial killer, but people really do that. And then they realize, oh, shit, there's somebody next to Freddy. And then look down. You see them, they're like, oh, crap. And then real low, there's another one with Jason Voorhees again in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So she's freaking out. Then all of a sudden, he's right in front of her. Holy shit. He's got her right there. Now, is that blood behind her?
Yeah,
No,
it looks like it.
I think that's lights from outside on the subway station.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it's a cracked glass. It's just lights.
Yeah, so he just cracked the glass with her, maybe. So, anyways, I'm not sure what's going on here, but then all of a sudden, right at the very end, instead of having like some sort of crazy knife slash a screen, they have Ghostface literally slashing the screen and it going a slash through the M, which is pretty clever. I have to give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Blood coming down into the room number 6. But it's stupid because there was no Roman numeral 5 in the last movie. So it's like, what are you? Come on. Like, I hate
marketing right there. Marketing.
At least they did Halloween with the remake of Jamie Lee Curtis in 2018. They did Halloween, and then they did Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. They didn't do Halloween and then Halloween 10. You know, they at least have it.
Yeah, but they want to separate themselves from some of the other movies, that franchise that were.
They did.
Quality, right?
They did. I think it was just a misstep to call the last one just to call it Scream. They should have called it something. But overall, it looks like we got a comment right here. Derpy, anyone get that?
So Jason takes
Manhattan. Yeah, no, for sure. I agree, man. Definitely. Overall, I'm definitely happy to see this. Anshul, are you going to go see it with us on opening night?
Sure, why not? You guys filled me in enough.
So it'll be March 9th. Now, you could literally, the beauty about YouTube, you could just get a recap on the other movies on YouTube. You can probably watch a 5-minute recap on each movie and you'd be good.
Yeah. Or I could just go in and just bother you every 5 minutes. Hey, Baba, what's this about?
Yeah, no, we could do that too. I am hoping that this is going to be the one that is truly like the first gear of the new car shifting this way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to just be like, oh, here we go. It truly is part 7. Like last one, I want part 5 to be the way Star Trek Generations felt. Like it truly was passing of the torch.
Do you think we'll see the revival after this movie of the Scary Movie franchise? That's the important question.
Look, I know that Sean Wayans was a big part of it with Marlon. Marlon hadn't gone anywhere. Marlon's still doing stuff, but I hadn't seen Sean Wayans in a long time.
Just those types of movies, those parody movies, those lampoon movies. When is the last time you saw one? Period. Those are huge. I mean, you talk about, like, I think the first one I remember was Airplane, right?
Yeah.
And then all the way to Not a Teen Movie, maybe some after that, but I don't know the last time I saw one.
So in my opinion, Not Another Teen Movie was the last good one. Because then they started making, and Not Another Teen Movie was still after like Scary Movie and stuff like that. But then they started making like Date Movie, Summer Movie, Epic Movie. And all they were doing was just making fun of all the movies last summer. That's all those movies were doing.
Yeah.
And then it just became stupid. They really were not fun anymore. Like Airplane was funny because it had Leslie Nielsen and Robert Stack and like all these funny, famous people at the time that were serious actors. By the time they were doing Summer Movie and Date Movie, nobody even knew who these people were in them. And so that didn't make it funny. Leslie Nielsen, the serious actor, being an Airplane or in Naked Gun, that's why that's funny. You know, so I think that's part of it. Chris Evans, him being in Not Another Teen Movie, that's part of why it's funny.
That was his breakout first lead role, I think.
Yeah. So I just think if they get the right people to do it right, like Half Baked is a slapstick film all the way through. It's just making fun of weed culture. But it's got Dave Chappelle in it, and there's famous people that.
But that was Dave Chappelle before Dave Chappelle. A lot of people knew who Dave Chappelle was, you know.
Right.
I saw. My brother went and saw Dave Chappelle at the Majestic Theater, which is just down the street from me. Wasn't even sold out. And he to get a theater as a comedian, you got to have some sway. They don't just hand out theater shows to anybody. But even then, wasn't sold out. You know, now the following year he came with Chappelle's show and he was doing stadiums, right?
Right. Well, the thing about Half Baked is that it was a cultural phenomenon for the weed community.
Yeah.
You know, but then Chappelle's show, you were talking about that at high school the next day and shit with people, or at college. You know what I mean? Like,
Or
dude,
for me at the Blue Goose
right? It's
with
like
James.
see,
James, goddamn James would come every time a Chappelle show aired and just start doing every bit till he just kill it. He'd hammer it to the ground. It's like, all right, James, we get it. You're Rick James. Stop,
No,
please.
Peck.
oh, dude.
Yeah.
But dude, Chappelle's show, season 1 and 2, arguably some of the best sketch comedy ever written.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Like, even people on SNL will be like, "Damn, I so wish I would have come up with those sketches."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I mean,
just
what did Five Fingers say to the face?
Yeah. I think it's better that it only lasted 2 years, but to keep that level of writing for more than 2 years, that's so hard.
And
You
there
know?
was still funny stuff in the lost episodes in the 3rd season, whatever. There still was some funny stuff in there, but part 1 and 2, it's like, I dare you to put on any episode and try not to. I'm not talking about try not to laugh a little. I'm talking about try to keep yourself from gut busting laughing.
There were some good ones back in the day. Mr. Show was good.
I own all of that. I own every season of Mr. Show.
There was, what's the one from Canada?
SCTV was the sketch comedy show that had like John
It
King.
might have been with a Crushing Your Head.
Oh, Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's great, dude. Kids in the
Yeah.
Hall.
I'm friends with a guy who was making quite a name for himself around town as a great improviser, and he was doing a lot of stuff, not stand up comedy, but he was doing a lot of those improv comedy troupes, and he did on tape one time a word for word reenactment of the Kids in the Hall, where this guy is talking to one person, and he's like, "Who is making all that noise?" And he's like, "It's just me." "Okay, everyone, you have got to be quiet. It's like, you're just talking to me, man.
And that's what Kids in the Hall was. Kids in the Hall was like a mix between like theater and Saturday Night Live. It was kind of like a hybrid.
There was one MTV that got kind of big for a little bit.
The State.
In the State, that's where it was.
Yeah, dude, State was hilarious. Yeah, with Doug and I Want to Dip My Balls in It.
I was just bring that one up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that one launched a lot of people's careers. Like,
and then Mad TV, of course.
So Michael Ian Black was on the State. What's his name that plays Deputy Dangle? I can't ever remember his name. Jim Thomas, is that his name? But you know Dangle on Reno 911.
Oh yes.
Oh, okay.
It was him and Michael Ian Black. The girl that's the other girl on Reno 911, the tall girl that's kind of skinny and got the short hair. She's like the other main character.
Yes.
She was on there. Like all of them started on the State. It's pretty cool to see some of the people on there you didn't realize. You know, it's really Glenn that plays Dennis on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He was one of the cast members on that 80s show.
Oh, yeah.
Came out that only lasted like 5 episodes.
Now they're doing that 90s show. Also, Living Color launched a lot of careers, right? You had Jim Carrey as the biggest one.
Yeah, but you still had David Allen Greer, Tommy Davidson, Damon Wayans. All the Wayans family came from that. Keenan Ivory is the reason that show was on the air. He was the producer of that show. I mean, look, Homie the Clown. That shit's
Homie the Clown, don't play that. Yeah.
Fire Marshal Bill.
Homie don't play that. Yeah.
Let me show you something. Show you something.
Well, look, I mean, we run almost an hour and a half, so that.
I got to call it a night. I'm cold out here.
So we're gonna go see this on March 9th, and that'll be fun. And we'll be the 2 kids that'll be like in a candy shop, and Anshul will be the guy over there making one-liners throughout the film. Which, by the way,
listen, I won't disturb you during it, but afterwards, you best believe I'm coming with the jokes.
Oh, of course.
I'm coming with the jokes.
I don't mind the occasional one-liner. Like, for example, I got to talk about this, and then we'll end it out. But when Anshul and I went and saw Bones and All, it was great because we weren't fully enjoying it. We're sort of waiting for the movie to pick up or take off at some point. We're just watching it. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's way better than Skinamarink, but we're just sitting there like, all right, come on, and then there happens a scene where some vampire shit goes down and they start feeding, right? And it's quiet because there's a lot of people that are watching this movie for Timothy Chalamet or whatever, and it's a relatively gory scene, and they're not used to that or whatever. And Anshul's just over there. He's like, dinner is served. Perfect. Like that kind of stuff is great. Just a nice little one-liner. Beautiful.
Or when Skinamarink finally went when you finally realized it was over, and Bobby's first one go, finally.
No, I just went, thank God.
Yeah, the funniest one for me is we were watching Cobra. We were watching with a ticket to the outing at Emerald Draft House, and watching Cobra. And the opening scene where he comes into, like, there's the guys holding up the grocery store, and he walks in through the doors, and he looks down, and he sees this woman cowering. And I look at Bobby, I'll go, this bitch is right next to the front door.
She is. It's like, I've never noticed that. She literally is like, not like she needs to crawl across the lobby, like inches from the front door.
Just go outside the door,
bitch.
The killer is way on the other side by all the other hostages. It is really funny. It's like, how have I never noticed that? But it made for a great time, right? Because that movie was full of us.
Yeah.
We saw it with the ticket.
Yeah.
Right, and the ticket. So it was just everybody was there to have a good
Yeah,
time.
how fitting. Here he is, the Cobra.
Yeah. He wasn't there, unfortunately. But
Yeah, it was a Dan and Jake thing. But
well, guys, if you
No.
enjoyed that, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification up top. I didn't see the banner for the overlays, but we got at Shogun Cinema on Twitter and on Instagram. You can go and follow us there. That's not the banner.
no, here
But,
it is.
there it is. And of course, patreon.com/BrassReel. We're going to get some Patreon episodes up. We want Whirly Burly to be a part of the Patreon. So we just got to wait on him to get his schedule clear, because he's an important dude. He got a lot going on. He got family. He got his life together, unlike Bobo and I. So,
No, that's not true. But I do have a lot to say. I would love to. I definitely want to be a part of the Patreon stuff, at least.
yeah, guys, we want to get live on this Patreon. We want to get X-rated on this Patreon. We want to be whipping our 12-inch dicks all over the place on this Patreon. So we do the shit you can't do on YouTube, right?
Right. Yeah, you can. And I'm tired of people saying to me, you're nothing. You never met the shit. Just like your father. I'm tired of that. So let's get some stuff
Well,
right.
you need to tell those people, hey, man, when life gives me lemons,
Make some hot, fresh popcorns.
yeah.
Peace.